to thank you for the invitation and for organizing this very wonderful series of lectures. The thank goes to Professor Ravi Prakash Arya, and thanks to the university in which this everything is organized, means the Maharishi Dayanand University in Rohtak in Haryana. One main mission of Swami Dayanand Saraswati, whose name the university bears, was to bring people back to Vedic lifestyle and to remove all kinds of superstition. And according to him, daily yajna was necessary to remove the pollution we humans create. Now, this mission seems more important even because the situation of this planet has deteriorated so much. Our atmosphere, our soils, and our water resources are much contaminated, and even the present pandemic is related to this overall pollution. If humankind wants to survive on this planet, we have to do all efforts to overcome pollution. And we have to make use of every method which can help. So we also go back to Vedic knowledge. But in order to make this Vedic knowledge acceptable to modern people, we relate this traditional wisdom with modern science. And what is the relation between Vedic science and modern science? We treat Vedic statements as hypotheses in terms of modern science, which then will be tested. But before this testing can be done, we have to try to understand Vedic statements in terms of modern science. And this is more than just a translation, because some of the terms used in Vedic texts do not have a corresponding word in modern scientific language, like prana or subtle energies. So we have to see and try to understand. In some cases also, we have to wait till modern science is developed a little bit more. My presentation will talk on Agnihotra first, then the effects in agriculture and the effects on our mind, and then trying to understand how this method works, what are the underlying mechanisms, and at the end I will give some suggestions for further research. But before I start, one clarification is important. The term Agnihotra is used for some yajna, a Vedic fire practice, related to sunrise and sunset. Some people even use this term wider for all kinds of Vedic fire practices, but normally, mostly Agnihotra is a fire practice which is related to sunrise and sunset. Still, there are many different forms of Agnihotra. The most elaborate form is the Trit Agni, where you perform Agnihotra in 3 kundas. The embers keep the fire all day, so you don't have to rekindle to restart the fire. And at dawn and at dusk, certain mantras are recited and different offerings given to the fire. This Trit Agni is very powerful, but it's difficult to perform. So only a couple of 100 families in India are now keeping this fire at home. You need your own cow, you need your own room for that, and you can't leave it. You can't do it one day and not do it the next day. You have to continue. So it's difficult, but it's great. Also in Arya Samaj, Agnihotra is prescribed as daily duty, but there is also a different form. So the different forms of Agnihotra are different regarding the timings. You know, some say, okay, somehow close to sunrise and sunset means like at dawn and at dusk. And some are specific. The time has to be exact for the correct coordinate and even exact to the second. Then also there's a difference in the materials used, the mantras, and so on. But in science, we have to be exact. So when we make statements about the effect of some method, we have to specify which methods we are referring to. If we can establish that one method has certain effects, other methods which look similar and maybe even known under the same name may or may not have the same effect. Therefore, it is important to always make it clear of which methods we are talking in order to avoid confusion. So this is what I want to do. When I talk about Agnihotra, I refer to a fire performed in a copper pyramid of fixed size and shape, used dry pure cow dung, pure cow ski. That's important, by the way, especially in India. Often farmers have both cows and buffaloes, so the dung is not separated. So it's sometimes difficult to get pure cow dung, and especially pure cow ski. But that's important. For Agnihotra, then we need some grains of less polished and uncooked rice, unbroken pieces, 2 simple mantras in the morning, 2 in the evening, and following timings of sunrise and sunset exact to the second. No Havan Samakri to be used. And Professor William Silvermurti has described that same type of Agnihotra, so I can keep it short. And he also mentioned about exact timing, and the time varies from place to place. So even in one city, definitely in a big city like Delhi or Bombay, there's a big difference of 1 or 2 minutes if you go from west to the east of the village city. But now it's very easy. You have this app called Agnihotra Buddy. It's available both for Android phones and for iPhones. It's for free, and it gives you the exact time for the place where you are. So it's very easy, and every day you get the exact timing. Earlier it was difficult. Now the question, why exact sunrise, sunset? So there's a description of sunrise in traditional knowledge saying that at sunrise, many fires, electricities, ethers, and more subtle energies come all the way from the sun to the place on the earth where the sun appears to rise. And this flood of energies has a subtle music in it. And the quintessential sound of that music is the mantras which we do in the morning. So this explains why we do the mantras. And as Professor Silvermurti had said, if instead of the mantras we utter some other words, it won't work. So it has to be these mantras. But as we get these energies from the sun, there's a resonance effect if we utter these mantras. So interesting, one American astrophysicist, he showed that at the time of sunrise, he says, million ampere currents head in towards the Earth, and at sunset, they going out again. So modern astrophysics confirms this traditional knowledge about what happens at sunrise. So these two time periods are very important, sunrise and sunset. So, how it is done, it was shown before. The mantras were also uttered already, so no need. What happens when we perform Agnihotra? A channel is created through all the atmosphere. Prana energy, which lies above the atmosphere, comes down through this channel, and from the pyramid, an aura energy field around all plants is created, and these plants get nutrition, they get disease resistant, they get stronger, and when the energy, when the flame dies, all this energy is coming back and is kept in the Agnihotra ash. This is why the ash is so powerful as medicine, as nutrients, for so many applications. Now, what are the benefits? Basically, you can say all nature comes back to harmony. And environment is purified, atmosphere, soil, water resources. Also biodiversity get restored. Food security can be maintained. and human health improves, both physical and mental. Some examples for reduction of environmental pollution. Environmental pollution is not bad for human health. It kills thousands and thousands of people, actually millions of people every year, but also plants suffer from it. So we have to also, in agriculture, we have to reduce this pollution. And with Agnihotra Homer methods, we can produce enough food. Not as many people think if you go organic, you will have less. No, you can have even more. So first, the effects on the environment. That is very obvious. These petri dishes were opened at the left side before Agnihotra and then sent for incubation, and then at the right side, these petri dishes were opened after Agnihotra. So you see within just, I think it was 10 minutes after Agnihotra, there was a big reduction in the bacterial count. That was similar experiment were done several times. Also, Professor Selvamuti showed one result in different places, different universities. So that's well established, also published in different papers. Now, that is biological contamination of the air through microbes. But what about chemical pollution and physical pollution? Physical pollution is mainly particulate matter, and that's a big problem now. This photo shows an experiment we did at Ujjain, Vikram University in Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh. We performed Agnihotra, and you see in the back a high volume air sampler. So we measured the particulate matter before Agnihotra, during Agnihotra, after Agnihotra. Some similar measurement was done at North Maharashtra University in Jalgaon. And you see SOx, NOx go up a little bit during Agnihotra, and then they come down by 30–40%. Same with particulate matter. That experiment also has done repeatedly in different places. One possible explanation of why Agnihotra reduces particulate matter, because that is not very obvious from the beginning. Because you see, you perform Agnihotra and there's some smoke. And smoke is particulate matter. And still you perform Agnihotra, and then after that, particulate matter gets reduced. One possible explanation is that negative ions, which are created when you do Agnihotra, they attract all kinds of particles, and then these particles settle down. So now, because that seems to be a very important aspect of Agnihotra, the negative ions created, some scientists from Germany is starting his PhD work. So after 1–2 years, we will know all the details about how Agnihotra produces negative ions and what these negative ions do with particulate matter, also with bacteria and other microbes in the air, because also they have an effect on these.